Moving on to Chinese Premier Li Keqiang's first official visit to Canada, which is just wrapping up. During Li's visit, both sides discussed cooperation in several areas, including finance, tourism, law enforcement and education. New consensus was also reached in economics and trade. China and Canada have agreed to double trade volume by 2025 through accelerating negotiations on a free trade zone, which will reduce tariffs step by step to zero. In judicial cooperation, both countries signed a deal concerning restitution of property and sharing confiscated assets. Now, this is the first specific agreement on foreign negotiations in recovering illegal gains from crime. It strengthens cooperation in combating transnational organized crime, especially corruption and economic crime. China and Canada also agreed that development of ties is in the interest of both nations and is beneficial to world peace and stability. CCTV's Rowie Ruttenberg has more in this report.
They came from all across Canada, some even from China. Business leaders wanting to see Chinese Premier Li Keqiang and hoping to hear words of encouragement from the man of the hour.
China will foster an enabling and improving rule of law environment so that investors and businessmen from Canada will enjoy just, fair and equal treatment, just like Chinese businesses. In addition, we will make our rules transparent in all sectors.
It was a guarantee that many Canadian exporters concerned over issues like intellectual property were waiting to hear.
As a leader of China, he is giving Canadians a reassurance for the investment in China. But at the same time, he is also inviting and encouraging Chinese investors to participate in the Canadian economy. These very large enterprises from China have also identified some of the key strengths of Canadian technology that could have very strong applications in China.
Li Keqiang is the first Chinese premier to visit Canada in more than a decade. Following a day of politics in the capital, Ottawa, he came here to Montreal to talk business. Tu Yangping, a high-level diplomat in Beijing, explains why Premier Li specifically sought to address this crowd.
He
wanted to explain to the local business community about China's economic policy and to introduce China's economic situation, and also to strengthen international confidence in China's economic development. This confidence is very important, both to China's and to the world's economy.
Li's host this week, the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, criticized his predecessor's approach to Beijing and promised his Liberal government would put bilateral ties back on track.
Our bilateral relationship has generally been warm, starting with some great work done by my dad that I'm particularly proud of. But over the last decade, relations have been unfocused, inconsistent. Well, my government is committed to changing that. With our Chinese partners like Premier Li, we'll bring stability and regularity back to the table.
It was, in fact, the senior Trudeau's predecessor from Canada's Conservative Party who broke a U.S. embargo in the 1960s and exported wheat to a hungry China, something Li himself referenced in his address here. A reminder, or perhaps a subtle suggestion, that business interests can transcend political ones. Rowie Ruttenberg, CCTV in Montreal.